Hey everyone, today I'm doing a video that was requested. Well, this topic is usually requested a lot about how to get comfortable with making mistakes, how I apply this in a perspective with this book right here, breaking down the fear of making mistakes. I'll actually go through one of the exercises, which will be really important for everyone to see. Let's see, we'll go through, we'll go through exercise number 2 because it goes through a bunch of different questions on there, or just in the 4th chapter. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below, let me know what you think. This is a really important topic for life. Even when we say stuff such as, I know for a fact this is the person I was meant to be with, because you can't actually prove that or disprove that. It's not scientific per se, which is what this book is about. Not in the sense of I need to know if this is a fact or not, but you actually don't know that, because if you're a guy dating a female and that woman gets killed in a motor vehicle accident, you go to depression for 3 years after you've been married for 10 years. Then you find someone else and get married again. You stay married to that person for 30 years. Eric and I were just watching a documentary on a guy that lost his for 75, I think, and then he got together again in their late 70s and 80s, and they were happier than ever. So you actually don't know if you're making the right decisions ever in your life. Never. Take something even that's difficult, something as difficult as religion. You don't know if you'll have a better spiritual connection if you switched over to Islam, or if you're Islamic and then you switch over to Catholicism, or if you're Catholic and then you go to atheistic and agnostic principles, and maybe more of a little bit more like spirituality and philosophical, such as Stoicism, Epicureanism, pessimism, etc. So there's no way to know. And this is really hard for people to hear. And I have no fear about that. So I just pick decisions. I make the best of that, and then I go forward. So again, before I go any further, phil@ocdrecovery.com. Let me know what you think about this. Again, this is a very important topic to cover. And let's go through right away. Let's jump into kind of how I go through things, okay? So let's take a belief. If I don't make the correct decision, and I need to know if this is the right way to do something, and if not, I'm incompetent, I can't stand it, my life is horrible, etc. Okay? Is this belief realistic or factual? Absolutely not. Because there's a lot of people that understand in a rational sense that although they went into particularly, let's say, a business, and you hear stuff and things sound really good in movies, okay? So I just got done watching one of my favorite movies, Miracle. Herb Brooks, the 1980 Winter Olympics hockey coach. I've watched this movie numerous times. It makes me cry. I love it. And then when he's giving the speech at the end, he says, you were born to be hockey players, right? That sounds really good. It's very motivating, but there's no such thing. There's no such thing as being born to be something in most cases. You can get really nitty-gritty on this when it comes to, say, maybe transgenderism, or maybe someone being bisexual, or changing religious tones. So we can always kind of bring this further. And it's not in a political sense. I just mean how the brain works and how we make behavioral change, etc. But, okay, so obviously not. I don't have to have the correct belief or decision at all times, because I'm a fallible human and I cannot always choose to act competently. So obviously there are going to be many times in my life where I'm going to make mistakes. So how do you know if your wife is the one for you? Well, you don't know that, because if all would have taken this one little change in time for Erica maybe to have started the next quarter in Cairo school later than me, and who knows where I've been in my life. So a lot of it is, in my opinion, just sheer luck, in my perspective, because a lot of people believe in fate. I don't believe in fate at all. I don't see a purpose in believing in fate. I think because when things go wrong in your life, you are more prone to disappointment because you believed in your mind that that's the way it should have been, etc. Okay? Is this belief logical? The belief of, I must never make mistakes. No, because your fallibility contradicts the, I must always act competently. Also, it doesn't logically follow your strong preferences that you would prefer to not make mistakes. Then your mind is, if I do make a mistake, I'm a worthless person. I can't live with that. This is the worst thing ever. There's nothing worse than making mistakes, etc. Can this belief be falsified, right? Well, of course it can, because you make mistakes all the time. Even when you don't think you're making mistakes, you don't know if you're not making a mistake. So take someone who thinks they're perfect from a belief system perspective. We have people out there. Remember, a lot of this is not what people think. Narcissism is quite rare. It's definitely not common. It's not common the way social media makes that believe. I always say, if your partner calls you fat and ugly, does not mean you're a narcissist. Now, it could mean, but it certainly doesn't mean, for sure. A lot of people, the ego is just fear of self-rejection, coming across in egotistical ways, and they put people down when they're really, they don't accept themselves. So, I can never make mistakes. Well, of course you can falsify this because you've made mistakes in your life and you haven't hated yourself for that. Take something as simple as, oh crap, I forgot to brush my teeth tonight because I got home really late from a party or something. It's a simple mistake. You're thinking, yeah, the mistakes I'm afraid of making are so much more higher in the hierarchy, but that just proves you wrong. That you can prove, that I can show you that you can make a mistake and still accept yourself. Okay? Where is, is this belief flexible and unrigid? Definitely not, because it holds under all conditions and at all times that I must never make mistakes. Quite inflexible. I must always know if this is the correct way. Does this belief prove deservingness? Well, of course not, because if the world owed you not being able to make mistakes, then you would never make mistakes to begin with. But because you're a fallible human, you make mistakes. So, and this is why the books on the reading list are so important. But I want to talk about practically for me, how I leaned into uncertainty when it came to mistakes. Let's take my biggest fear with body dysmorphia, which is the fear of not having the correct outcomes in lifting weights because I wanted to look a certain way. So I was always looking for the perfect program, compulsive researching, compulsive dieting, compulsive exercise tracking, compulsive cardio tracking, not going out, not missing meal times, etc. I don't have any of that nowadays. It took me a long time to get there. Now, when I was at a CrossFit event this weekend, it's very easy for my personality and the camaraderie and want to be involved in the community to look at something like that and say, I want to be involved in that. So then in my mind, I can think, oh my gosh, am I making the wrong mistake by doing like typical bodybuilding routines like upper, lower, push-pull legs, etc. It doesn't matter because I enjoy lifting that way and I'm not going to make any changes anymore. That means I could be missing out on the potential benefits of CrossFit in my life, but that's okay because I've missed out on many benefits in my life. I just watched something last night, my wife, on Singapore, and I've heard great things about Singapore. Maybe I would like living in Singapore. I don't know. I could be missing out on that. So you're always missing out on something, okay? You hear people say, being married is the best thing ever. There's no cons. Like it's the best way to live. Usually there's a religious connotation underneath that for understandable reasons with monogamy. But that's actually not true. There's a lot of benefits from being single and being able to sleep with whoever you want. A lot. Especially if you have a good income. If you have a good income, you can support yourself and you have a lot of extra money, you're good looking, and you could do what you want. Dude, that life has a lot of pros. There's a lot of pros in that life. You do whatever the fuck you want. No one can tell you otherwise in the sense of holding down with extreme responsibilities in a relationship fashion. But there's a lot of cons too. You're not getting close to someone. You're not sharing your life with anyone per se. You have to do a little good amount of lying and the kind of manipulation of like, hey, maybe you slept with a girl and she's like, hey, I want to hang out again. You're sleeping with another girl that night and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sick. And you do that. But and then people go, oh my God, you're lying. It's the worst thing ever. Humans lie all the time. They tell white lies. There's no difference between a massive big lie and a white lie. We've done this in society. You're still making a mistake and you're still lying. A lie is a lie. People lie all the time for multiple different reasons. So this is how you break that down. You have to learn to sit with the uncertainty and stop trying to solve the automatic rumination in your mind. So you get automatic rumination and you're trying to solve that automatic rumination with extra rumination. So the books on the reading list, think about it when you're doing your disputing. Why am I so afraid of making mistakes? Think about the mistakes you've already made in your life. I've made numerous mistakes, and they don't hold anything about me. No fears, no guilt, no shame, no real event, no false memory, no anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, Phil@ocdrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. Hope to hear from you soon. Please come to a webinar or one-to-one coaching. We work all over the world with every time zone. You can work with anyone you want on the team, and hope to hear from you soon. Have a good one, everyone.